Do you like those films about never giving up and overcoming odds? I know you've seen a lot of movies about that, and Men of Honor is no different. And if that's your type of film, I hope you give Men of Honor a look if you haven't seen it yet. It came out in 2000, directed by George Tillman Jr., starring Cuba Gooding Jr., Robert De Niro, Charlize Theron, and a bunch of other supporting casts. The story is about Carl Brashear, played by Cuba Gooding Jr., who is determined to be a U.S. Navy diver. The problem is he's black, and everybody keeps telling him that they won't let it happen. They won't let an African American be a Master Navy diver, but Carl is determined not to let giving up get into his head. He's determined to get to where he is and doesn't care what prejudice he has to encounter. Especially when he goes to Navy school and he has to deal with Chief Billy Sunday, played by Robert De Niro, who was a master Navy diver and lost his marbles along the way, and he's determined to see him fail, but he's not willing to give up and not let people tell him the situation's hopeless. But how will this all play out? Well, you're gonna have to see the movie to find out. I gotta say, this is a pretty good film. Now, before I get to the performances, I gotta say, I know this film is based on a true story. I know a few moments were a bit exaggerated. Spoiler alert, in case you don't know this, I hear Robert De Niro's character, good in the film, he's an amalgam of two different people in Carl Brashear's life. That's about all I know. So he's basically improvised, but I gotta say this about De Niro's performance. It's good in some moments. Some moments he just goes very over the top. And Charlize Theron is also good as Sunday's loving, but same time very suffering wife. Cuba Gooding Jr. is good as Carl Brashear. I just love his determination. He doesn't care what he's got to put on the line. He wants to get to where he is and all that stuff. And Angeline Ellis Taylor, I think that's what her name is also good as his girlfriend who helps him study and also later becomes his wife in the film. But I love the setting of the 40s. It goes from the 40s to the 50s to the 60s, and it sets it out pretty well. And Carl Lumbly is also good as Brashear's father, who loves his son, but is disappointed with his own life, and he just wants his son to have it better than him, and he's just determined to show that in his son, and that's what inspires Carl's determination. But I'm going to say this about the film. The supporting cast also really shines. Even good actors like Powers Booth, David Keith, who don't have big roles in the movie, but the little bit they're in the movie, they do shine in their own unique way. I like Powers Booth's character, who doesn't like what Carl Brashear does when he goes out for a swim with the other white sailors when he wasn't supposed to, when he's supposed to be a cook, but he really admires what he just displayed. And David Keith is also good as one of people he dives with. They all really shine in their own way. The dynamic between Robert De Niro and Cuba Gooding Jr. works well. It's a shame Cuba Gooding's career just kind of fell downward. He's making a career back up a little bit. I mean, mostly in some supporting roles, but he's good too. I mean, the film really it's another one of those films that tells you don't let things go down despite overclaiming odds. Don't give up. So I give Men of Honor a 10 out of 10. Have a good one.